I know it was another depressing day for you. Well, not completely, because you got the draw in the end.
Yeah,
we'll touch on that game a little bit later on. But first of all, I guess we have to salute the champions of England in the Premier League this season. It was confirmed yesterday. Liverpool are Premier League champions 2024-2025. They've done it in style by hammering Tottenham, where everybody knew that Tottenham weren't going to put up much of a resistance. But also, let's be real, they've won it easily. We've seen Premier Leagues over the last, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, always be a tight race. And then, normally Man City go, powering through. But they did it so easily with games to spare this year. I bet they can't believe it. And well deserved.
Yeah, and actually, I've just realised, looking at myself, I didn't wear this by accident. Treble. They've got 20. They've got more Champions Leagues, but they haven't got one of those. I mean, that's all I can cling on to. I'll hold on to it. No,
20 times is over, right? The 20 times.
Look, on that, I don't want to make it about United. It's about Liverpool. But look, United have got themselves to blame on that. But in relation to Liverpool, I think we've spoken about it over the weeks. Arne Slot deserves a huge amount of praise, I think, to come in and take what Klopp was building and not really, just amazing, absolutely amazing. I heard somebody say yesterday that the fall off of Liverpool is actually a myth. Their last 16 games are the same as their first 16 games. So they've not really fell off. They lost to Fulham and they lost to Forest at the start of the season, 2 losses. I don't blame Arsenal, really. I blame Arsenal owners. I don't blame Arsenal team or fans. I think Arsenal have got a very good chance in the Champions League, but without that striker, it was evident that they weren't going to really be able to push Liverpool. Man City have got their own problems. And I think it's a shame we haven't had a title race, because Liverpool haven't won this title with a low points total. They've just been the best and no one's gone with them. And it was good yesterday to see Alexi McAllister have such a good game, because I think that the midfield of Liverpool gets it's always Van Dijk and Trent and then Salah. And actually that midfield doesn't have any of the sort of old school Liverpool players. And you don't win a title without a good midfield. And I think they have got the best midfield in the league. Arsenal and Newcastle have got very good midfields. But yeah, all in all, I mean, that's about as much as I want to say about Liverpool. But they're worthy champions winners. And I'm really excited about next season, actually, because I think hopefully it will not be Man City again. And Liverpool and Arsenal will have a proper go at it next year. Maybe Liverpool a bit, second season, it's harder to do it. Arsenal get that striker in. And hopefully that's what we're going to see next season.
Well, hopefully, I mean, I still get really disappointed that Arsenal didn't have a go at it in January, didn't try to, strengthen. To me, they just the board handed the title to Liverpool in January when they made no effort to bring anybody in. However, that aside, Liverpool, even if we had brought people in, they could still possibly have won it, not as easily, but won it as well, because they've been brilliant. They've been brilliant. And like you said, that midfield of McAllister, Gravenberch, they've been brilliant all season. They've been brilliant as a team all season. We can't take anything away from them. You can point at factors and say the rest of the league didn't turn up. I mean, how bad have, your team United been? Normally, you wouldn't expect that. You wouldn't expect like Chelsea to be as bad, City to be as bad. Even Arsenal ain't been great. You know what I mean? Like 13 draws. So, but that's not.
I like to say you left Spurs out of that.
Well, they're not in it.
We would expect Spurs.
13 draws is not good enough, right? So, they're the deserved champions. They've done it early. As for Tottenham, by the way, 19 defeats now this season. 19. That is it's incredible, the amount of defeats that they have had. I don't know how Ange Postecoglou survives, even if they win the Europa League. I've heard a lot of Tottenham fans saying they still want him gone.
I know, I understand that, but I also think you are Tottenham. Like, if he wins the Europa League and gets you into the Champions League, all right, he's been in the Champions League, but if he wins you the Europa League, I get it, but it will still be you've just sacked the guy that's won the best trophy and when was the last trophy they won that was as good as the Europa League? So,
but then what's he going to? True, but then what's he going to do in the league next season? That's your bread and butter.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, I know, look, it's a Spurs issue, and I think Spurs fans want him gone. But I just think it's so Spursy that ultimately the bottom line is you're sacking the guy that's won your best trophy in decades. But that's the situation they put themselves into. And I thought it was a bit embarrassing yesterday, the way he celebrated the first goal. Like, so early, you knew what was going to happen, but
Yeah. I mean,
they might beat us in the Europa League final, so I've got to be careful what I say about Spurs if we get there.
They have to win it. They have to win it. And of course, relegation settled